Hello, dear friends. Welcome today for our welcome to the first episode of Family Life series. This is the second season of our lives. We're going to do 12 episodes, and it's going to be all all talking about family life. This series is an initiative from the family department of Sembradores de Luz. For you that it maybe don't know or it's new here, Sembradores de Luz is international, 100% virtual spiritist organization institution. We operate in 4 languages, and we support educators, families, and young people. So before we go, I want to talk about those series we actually prepare with a lot of care and thinking on the family life, thinking all with in mind that all the things we go through in a family life, all the challenges and joy of a family life. And the theme for today is challenge in family life. It will be a conversation more between friends, between us, so we can bring insights. We will be learning. We will seek inspiration to fulfill our families, to help us fulfill a little bit more the role of love, understanding, and hope in the family life. So, if you're there and you want to ask questions anytime. We'll be more than glad to help. And today with us, I have 2 friends. We brought 2 friends with us. We have Bernadete Leal and hello, Bernadette, and Weber Costa. Hello, Weber Costa.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. Thank you for being here today. And I've just introduced our theme for today, which is challenge in family life. Uh, just for everyone to know and a little bit more, I will read the bios of Bernadette and our dearest Bernadette and of Weber Costa, so we know we're talking about.
I think she froze there.
Are we having a little bit of delay?
It happens.
So it's okay. So I will tell you a little bit about me. So I even had here a little, sorry guys, we're working on that. So I will read because I wrote a mini biography, but I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm an educator, and currently I'm an elementary school teacher. I'm originally from Brazil, and I've been living in San Diego, California for 29 years. And my joy is spending time with my grandkid. I love my baby. It's so good to be grandma now, right? And we talk about families. And when my daughter complains, I go, yeah, now it's your turn. You see how easy it is, right? I've been deeply committed to Spiritism, the Spiritist philosophy and teachings. I'm a board member of the Spirit Society of San Diego, and right now I support all the local centers here with lectures. I have a love for art, music, storytelling, and I am an author. I wrote a book, A Little Respect. Check it out if you want to teach your child about what respect is. That's it. What about you, Weber?
There we go. She's back. And we're just introducing ourselves. But if you, Bernadette just introduced herself. If you want, you can, I don't know if you want to summarize anything. I don't think you heard. Or if you want to introduce myself there, that's fine too.
Now, maybe it's better you
Introduce yourself, Weber.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
that's
makes
fine.
warmer.
Yeah, no, it's great. I know Bernadette for quite some time because I lived in San Diego for a long time actually, and I've been blessed to be born in a family that my grandfather was a spiritist, my parents, and so for me, spiritism has been in my life all my life. And so been here in USA. I'm currently in Orlando, Florida, but I lived in San Diego where I met Bernadette for a couple decades ago plus. I've been living here now for 35 years. Very happy. All my professional life was here. Went to school here, major in business management, which helped me also to bring some of that expertise to the spirit centers. In San Diego was the former president of the Allan Kardec San Diego, and currently I'm on that position here with Plenitude Spirit Society, and we just try to do the right things, just support the spiritism movement in the United States, and we're doing things little by little here to help bring more wisdom and knowledge to not just to the Brazilian community, but also expand that to our dear friend Americans as well.
Wow, that's great. That's really good. I know Bernadette because we are in the same part of the Sembradores de Luz. So, but really,
You have to say that. Oh,
yes.
I'm the children's department coordinator in Sembradores de Luz. Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's important, and I love it.
Can't forget that part.
Yeah. That's great then. So without further ado, let's go and start. I was thinking we could start our theme, which is challenges in family life, asking some questions. We'll start with you, Bernadette, if it's okay.
It's okay.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. You are in minority here now.
I'm okay with that. That's normal. Yeah.
Weber is a gentleman.
Yes, I can see. So, Bernadette, what are the main challenges currently faced by families on their daily lives? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thought is when I was thinking about this question, for me was I can't pick one because there is so many. And if you ask me what's the most challenging theme or reason or whatever it is, and the answer is the challenge that you are going through now. That's the one that you are going with your family that's going on. Because when I'm going through challenges, for you, it's just like, oh, it's easy. Why don't you just do this and that, leave the person? But for me, it's hard, right? So it's very personal. So whatever you're going through now, I hear you. Hang in there, right? Hang in there. It shall pass. It's going to be hard, but you are not alone. But most likely, if we are going through challenges, I chose 5, but it can be more, right? And I did a research and says number one challenge is financial. A lot of family go through something, financial. You have to pay your bills. You have medical bills. Not everybody today, having a stable family financially. So, and I know I've been there, probably you've been there. When you were struggling financially, there's a lot of arguments with the family, with the spouse. So let's think about that. Maybe the challenge that you're going through is financial. So I have 5. The next one is mental illness. we are having as an educator and working with teenagers, sometimes it's growing. And families don't know how to deal with their kids. Some is their spouse, somebody in the family. They're dealing with addiction, dealing with depression. We have kids now, they're doing a lot of cutting. It's increasing. And that affects our family. Next, it's busy life. 3, I'm going to do 5 so Weber can talk a little bit. Okay, busy life. As we talk about financial, most of the families now, we have the spouses both working. So we don't have time to spend time with our families. It's always absent parents. They are there, but not fully there, right? Screen time. But we may see, because we are educators, we have a little more of knowledge. We see this as an issue. I see at school. But some parents don't see that. They're like, oh, thank God. Oh, Mom, I want this. Okay, just here. In my parent conference or whatever it is, they bring tablets, cell phone, the kids start. So here. So who is educating your child? I was sharing with Juliana that I went with some friends from my spirit center to see Bruno Mars. Okay, girls, it was amazing. But as you walk, they give you a pouch that you have to put your cell phone in, they lock. You are not allowed to take pictures, but nowadays, or you need to be present. And he explains, you need to be fully present here. And I don't want to sing for a wall of phones. If you go to restaurants, pay attention and be careful, because we might do this too. You look at couples and family, everybody's on their cell phone. So this how is this affecting our family? And the last one is communication. We don't have much communication skills. We don't know how to communicate well, how to understand what's going on with your child. Oh, my teenager is so hard. Well, because we need to adjust and learn how to communicate with new generation and so much more. So these are the ones that I thought, and if Weber would like to jump in and add to that or add more.
No, I think you cover just about everything there. A couple other things I would just add to it, just to complement. I think because of this lifestyle that you just mentioned in there, the modern life, the way both parents need to be very active, we have a little bit of loss of the spiritual values. And a lot of times the families, they forsake that because of they're just so focused on, trying to work to be able to provide to their family, that they forget, or overseeing things that's more important, which is the spiritual values that we have to give, especially to our children. And that brings a good balance to the household, and a lot of times with that, because when you don't have that, it brings a fragility to those relationships. And people sometimes, now you see people just like, they don't see, this is not working, let's go different ways here. And there's no effort being put into it, because we're so focused in our professional life that we forget the spiritual values. In the end, it's really going to matter, because once we go to the other side, it doesn't matter the profession you had, how much money you had in your account, the house, the car. That makes no difference, isn't it? It's all about the experience. What have you done? What have you passed to your loved ones? And that's the only thing I would add to it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very current, this theme of how we deal with the electronics. I say electronics because it's so many things that they have nowadays. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, but there's no way back on that. I mean, what do we have to do as parents and educators? You have to use that in our favor, because there's no way back on that. So technology has been here and is going to be here.
Yeah,
And everything with
exactly.
moderation. If you do it, use
Right.
this to our benefit.
I agree.
That's right. Yes. And think of that, this is the challenge that we face. And often our home, which is supposed to be a place of peace, safety, becomes a scene of conflict. So why is that? Why that sometimes it happens? What experience can explain about this? I'll start with you, Weber.
Yeah, I mean, it goes towards what we were talking about the previous question, right? Then you start understanding. Once we understand about spirituality, the spiritual life that we're supposed to have here, we understand why in some families you see so many conflicts, because the mission of the family in the end is all about reconciliation. It's all about from people that in the past they're adversaries, and now you're supposed to reconcile that, because in the end, we're all supposed to move forward, right? It's the law
Yeah.
of progress. We cannot go against that. But a lot of times we're so devoted to our own selves that we forget that. And once again, that falls a lot on the lack of spiritual understanding and a nourishment towards one another. So a lot of times once we realize what is our purpose here, then things makes more sense, and then we start to look for a balance to be able to provide to our family members, and maybe someone they don't get along, it might be your father, your mother, a sister, a brother, and you understand and say, hey, I may have to have a little bit more patience here to deal with the situation, instead of just ignore it. So I don't know if Bernadette wants to add more to it.
So repeat the question again about what the family has a lot of conflict sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Well,
My mic was.
okay, just think about your family right now. Think about your brothers and sister. I get along really well with one of my sisters, and I get along with the other. And I don't know about you, but it was like this. My sibling says, Bernadette, go talk to mom. Mom, she will listen to you, but she's not gonna listen to me. It's because we have all different spirits, different people with different personality, all in their household. And no matter how much you say, I didn't ask to be born. No. As we study in the spiritism, we know we are where we need to be. And it's hard for us because we are still spirits in progress, and we still have we are a little bit of selfish. The ego sometimes just kick in because it's all about me. I think I'm right.
right.
You have to do what I think. And then it starts this conflict. That's so amazing why Spiritism helps us to understand the importance of the family, right?
Sure.
And no matter how much you complain, you say, I'm out of here. I'm not going to live with my family. And we do, because we get married, but did you notice that some of the conflicts that you were having with your family, now you're going to find at work because it follows you. So you better deal with it. You better learn. You better practice till you pass the test and you pass the grade. Then you're going to go to the next subject. But don't feel upset about it. It is what it is. And we have no control over others. Okay, this is happening in my life. Accept. What am I going to do about it? Through the light of Jesus. What would Jesus do?
Yeah, just one thing to add to that, Bernadette, is understanding the spiritual life that we're supposed to have, right? You, a teacher, understand this because the best analogy I see in our life, our reincarnation here, is the school of life. And we're supposed to, in our families, that school of souls, where we all get together there to reconcile things and learn from one another. So we can all learn from each other. And once you start having that kind of view about your family, then things makes more sense. That's why you have a better affinity connection with one and may not have with the other. And it's all in the same household, the same parents, right? Or sometimes it might be, against the parent, but then you understand that. And then what really lacks sometimes is that understanding.
Yeah, it's that part. Like a mother has the same love for all the children. It's the same love, but the connection's different. There is something different because what you lived in previous lives, you come with this, all with this in your baggage and luggage. We just don't remember that thing.
Yeah, not at school. You hear, with the young ones, it's not fair. It's not fair. You hear that? It is not fair. Why are you doing extra work for me and not for him? I said, because you need a little push, a little extra than the one. So we're going to do extra work. You're going to stay here later. We're going to talk about it. It's not fair. Or I hear a lot, and I used to teach them in school. Is it fair? Is God being fair? I said, God is not fair, honey. God is just.
Yes, he is.
God knows his kids. He knows some of you need a little spanking with all. Please, no violence here. God knows that he needs for this one is to push you a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to mess up. So remember, God is just. And fair is not being the same. We need different approaches because we learn in different way. I'm a visual learner. If you're going to ask me to read a bunch of things, after 5 minutes, I'm gone. But draw it, I will pay attention. So that's it.
Yeah, and you brought one thing there. I think that's one of the challenges we live today, Bernadette. A lot of the kids nowadays, it's not fair, but they're just thinking about themselves. It's not fair for me. They're not looking at the big picture. And becoming like a problem in a different generation, our generation. You accept the things because, hey, that's the way it is. And that sometimes that to hear like a no, or you're gonna have to do some extra work because in the end it was necessary, right? As an educator, you're not doing that it's not a video game for you to have fun. No, you're doing it necessary. There's no punishment. It's necessary to help. In the end, that person is going to look back and say, you know what? She was right. But it's going to need a little bit more maturity to realize that eventually. Yeah.
Correct.
That's right. Yes. And Spiritism helps us understand this, on the perspective of reincarnation and the law of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
What tools can we bring, in light of, reincarnation laws? What tools can we use to understand and to deal with this challenge, the challenge of make sure I have to say no to my child. I have to make sure that my child do this. Or I have to do, like you said, we have to deal with this because, we came this life to deal with this. So what tools can we have in Spiritism to help us?
Kardec said, chapter, I don't remember the chapter. Okay, but you guys, if you do, well, that he says, the first teaching is love one another. And the second one is educate yourself. And that's what we are doing here. So at home, if we have the rule of love, put yourself, in somebody's shoes, it will help. And then educate ourselves. When I say educate with everything. Educate ourselves. If you're having problem with mental illness, go educate yourself. Moral values, whatever you need, be proactive. I can just sit here and complain and cry. And so I say, some friends suffer of complainantitis. Right?
Right.
And And one of the things that helped me a lot to deal and handle better the issues through spiritism was reincarnation. And as I study, and I realize that that person that is in my life for a reason. In a household, we have a history. Most of them, there are exceptions, but they are here for a reason. Maybe we've been going through this for a long time, living this life. My daughter said she has one specific person that she doesn't like. And after she learned about reincarnation, I go, Mom, I need to forgive. I don't want to come back. That girl, go open your forgiveness. Right? What do you think, Amber?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and it's good. You brought that. That was the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 6.
Thank you.
So what happened? Who said that? With the Spirit of Truth? No, Jesus brought us that to us, and that's what it is. Saying, educate yourselves, because once we realize that family conflicts are not just mere accidents, they just happen. No, but it's a result of past ties of those souls that need to be reconciled, that need to be resolved. That's the only way we can all move forward. Once we realize this, everything changes, because now you start treating that situation differently with a different perspective. Now you start like understanding, have a little bit more patience with those they're like have something against you, because sometimes a person may not be in the same understanding as you are. Doesn't mean we're better, we're more evolved. No, you just have that knowledge currently that eventually they will have it as well. But at this present time, you may know that, hey, this is like, there's a reason why this is happening. And then understanding that, you'll be able to step back a little bit, not react, but act with reason with that person. Because a lot of times conflicts happens because one will say something, the other one wants to speak louder, right? More offensively. And then the other one comes back the same way. That's not going to take you anywhere, right? But once you understand that that person might be, you know what? It's okay. I get it. And sometimes there are situations where we're going to try our best. And sometimes one lifetime is just not enough. And sometimes the best thing to do is, you know what? Walk away. So at least we don't make things worse. And it all depends. But having that understanding make things a lot easier to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's
awareness.
Superman, Spider-Man doesn't say with more knowledge, more responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
With great powers comes great responsibility.
Yeah, something like this. Hey, this applies to us. The more we
What's the name of his
study,
uncle?
got it. So that's it. Kardec already said that. Like,
Yeah.
with being studying the responsibility, which is one thing that I see as an educator with the law of cause and effect. I see the children, or because talk about family, not only children, relationships is being held accountable for our actions. Oh, I did. Oh, sorry. But I say to my students, thank you that you say sorry. That's great, but not enough. Now you need to repair the harm. How are you planning to repair the harm that you did? How can I make it up to you? But a sincere thing, not just an action because my teacher told so. We sit down and said, what do you think you could do? How can we solve the problem? How can you repair? Because the more that you let go, the feeling, and we know through Spiritism and other teachings, you don't even need to be religious, or how you feel when you are upset and you are not feeling good about another person is that weight, that's hard to walk and live our life. So that's it.
And it's funny you bring that up because the law of cause and effect has been
Mhm.
around for a very, very long time.
Exactly.
And it's inherent to our understanding. People, it has nothing to do with being religious. You
Ex-
know, in your inner self, you know that when you've done wrong, like, hey, you know what, something may happen to me here, because the law of cause and effect has been around for thousands of years. If you go back in all the religions, you go back eventually to Hinduism, 4,000 years before Jesus. They were already talking about the law of cause and effect and the law of reincarnation. So in the very beginning, divinity put this here for us. So if you go back in all the current monotheistic religions, if you say where this one was born, where it started, where it take it from, you go back to the mother of them all, which is Hinduism. Okay, and right there the teachings were already there. But then comes us, the human beings. then we start taking, like, wow, this is subject to different interpretation. But the reality is the law of cause and effect has been around forever. People say, the law of karma, action, reaction, cause and effect, however you want to call it. But it's something that's been around us for a very long time, and most people believe it. But it's a matter of, like, how do you really educate that in a way where people can perceive things inside their house as well. That maybe perhaps the reason why things don't work there, things don't get along, is because there is a past that was not resolved. And this, the school of the souls, it's our families. That's what we're going to be able to repair it. But not until we have that understanding. And once we do, because it's just a matter of time, we will have that understanding.
Mhm.
And then the things are going to be easier to resolve, because then you're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, in order for me to move forward, I have to resolve this.
Yep.
And once the other person knows that as well, it's like, why are we fighting? So let's resolve it, because they both want to move forward. In the end, everyone wants to get better, to move forward, have a better future life, right? And they know in order to get that accomplished, they need to resolve that matter. Once that becomes like spread out and understanding, then things will start moving forward.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yes. It's that, back to, yes, very good. You said sorry. Now we need to repair and come back. So, in this light of we need to repair, we need to come back here. We know there's families that it's really difficult. It's always constant conflicts. Parents, children, spouses, siblings, they always fighting. Whenever. How spiritism can help us understand and deal with this if we are in one of those families that it's always conflicts, and that's a tough one.
I think when you're in a conflict situation, uh, I think the first thing is to go look for support. Okay, because it's hard to deal with things by yourself. Very hard. So spiritual support is very important. It doesn't have to be a spirit center. It can be in a church. It can be in a group of people that they think alike, and then they'll give you a little bit more support to and resilience to deal with those difficult situations. Because by yourself, we get influenced by spirits all the time, right? Question
Yeah.
459 in the spirits book. Sometimes they're guiding us, and if you're not aware of it, right? So having that spiritual support, it helps us a lot, because then you feel stronger to deal with those situations. The other thing is to have the habit of praying. We don't give enough importance to prayer, how important that is. And I'm not talking about that prayer, that you, at the end of the night, just like, dear Heavenly Father, you fall asleep. No, not that.
Oh,
We really have a relationship with our guardian angel. We have a relationship with Jesus, with God. Why? Because they really want to help us. We have a lot more support, spiritual support here than adversaries. All of us, we all have our guardian angels. We have our spiritual family. We have spirits that are here in our realm just to assist us. But we also have our adversaries. But what happens is who are we going to give connection to? And a lot of times we decide to give, our ears to to the adversaries. So knowing that, looking for spiritual support, establish prayer as a habit because it disconnects us from
Sorry.
from that influence, right? And then that's just going to help you go through those situations and recognize there is sometimes a spiritual cause. Not always, because a lot of times we also think that everything's cause and effect in a way of thinking previous lives. Not necessarily. A lot of things is just because there's not enough affinity as a spirit. There's not enough connection there. And you might look at the person, you might not connect. But when we talk about families, almost always there's some cause and effect from previous lives, right? We don't choose the family we were born a lot of times, right? But we choose the family we want to have, right? So then on those that you're born in, then you have to find a way to resolve it the best way possible, right? And sometimes you're not going to be able to accomplish in this life, and that has to be okay as well. Don't feel frustrated if you get to the end of your life, as long as you really did try. As long as you really did try, and you say, you know what, I tried my best, but unfortunately, we're not able to resolve, and then that's okay. But using the tools that are available, spiritual support, prayer, understanding about the law of cause and effect, they'll help understand and go through those conflicts a lot easier.
Yes.
Bernadette,
Uh,
do you want to add anything?
yeah. If you're going through a lot of conflict at home, first thing is do not try, because I've been there. Easy, breathe. First thing, can you breathe, please? Drink some water, go for a walk, go to the bathroom. Breathe. Because, when we say when you flip your lid and you think right, he flipped, when you think right, we tell ourselves, he flipped the lid. So what part of the brain is he thinking? The emotion or the reason? So there's no way of talking. There is no, I said, okay, I need you to breathe for 5 minutes so we can deal with the issue. And because when we talk today, everybody's running, all these challenges, is so easy to overreact. Okay. Second, acceptance. Accept that there is something going on. You don't get along with your parent, or there's something going on, whatever it is. Because if you keep fighting or blaming, it's all my husband's problem. It's I don't have the money, it's the car, it's easy. And the problem is there. How much is going to help you just complain or blame others? We do that, I used to do this a lot. It's all my husband's fault. Oh, it's all this. Oh, he did this. Oh, my daughter. Oh, I don't have the money because if I had. Come on. Okay, we all do this once in a while. And it's okay. We are not perfect. So the first thing that after you breathe, calm down, you accept. Third, if you want this to get better, you must want to get better. Otherwise, you keep doing what you're doing, you keep getting what you're getting. How much want to solve the issue that's going on? And it's always start with you. You work on yourself, right? And then the next step is what Eber just told us. Action. You're going to grow spiritually. You're going to ask for support. You're going to read about. You're going to rehearse. I learned something really cool that I was listening to a psychologist. And it just adds, rehearse. If you know that every time this person's gonna walk and is gonna do and say something, and you already got that behavior that your child is gonna complain about, rehearse what you're gonna say with love. Or if you don't know, say, I hear you. I hear you. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. And then you go figure out the answer if you don't know the answer, because it could complicate, right? But you must want. I have parent meetings, and when we suggest, well, what if you did this? No, I don't know. I can't do this. No, I work. So just want to be sitting on the nail. That's your choice. If it's hurting and you're screaming, it's your choice until you are ready. I was just watching the Messengers movie again, and when he wanna, rescue one of the spirits, he was just waiting years and years till he said, I'm sorry. Till he said, I want to change. And the change comes because it's all there. You are not alone. We love you. God loves you, but you must want. So you breathe, acceptance, you want to change, you take action, you start your work and be a good model. If you cannot change the person or the situation, just change you. When a person is screaming, what is it that you can do? Model. Oh, the other one has to change. It's not my fault. Hello. We all have a responsibility. If you drink the water, the peace water, don't swallow. That can help with conflicts a lot in relationships, right?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. For that to swallow, it came to my mind that part. If you swallow the water and don't leave in your mouth,
Yeah, drink the water, but don't swallow. Just
don't
keep it
swallow.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, you can stop and think over a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things, just to complement what Bernadette is saying, is once we finally wake up and realize that it's up to us to make the changes, that's what makes all the difference. And what Spiritism brings to us every day, they don't transfer that responsibility to anybody. They put that in our own selves. They say, look, it's up to you. If you want something to be different, change. It might be to change us, because once we change our behavior, you change that whole situation, right? Because people start seeing your changes, and then they start accepting, like, you know what, maybe perhaps I should change it as well. But don't expect this overnight. That's the other challenge as well. A lot of times people, there's like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to church now, or I'm going to the spirit center. It's my second week already. It's like, no, wait a second. You've been going through this for like years. And then you think like, yeah, you're in your second week in, you think you want results. That's human nature, right? And then we just have to have that understanding. And then little by little, you change yourself, and you'll be able to change that situation you're in.
Being the model, the personal example.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. So I think, it's almost, it's almost time. 45 is our time. So we are almost in 44.
So good.
What I think we could do, like, just a wrap up, talk about the gospel at home, prayer, being personal example, all this, how this would strengthen family ties and help us deal with the conflicts.
So
What do you
everything
think,
is
Bernadette?
energy. Yeah. So, energy. We talk about energy. So you walk in your house and you feel. When you talk to somebody, I'm not feeling good. I don't want to hang out with this person. So what kind of energy do you bring to your house? And I bring tons of energy from my work. Everybody does, right? So imagine the trash that our minds bring in daily basis to our home. Not on purpose, because that's what it is. So once in a while we need to clean because it's going to stink. So that's what prayer does. That's what the gospel at home. Take a time to pray with your family. And then you are modeling. Talk about, this is what we are doing right now. We're going to pray. We're going to help. So let's take it out of the trash. Let's put, how do we do this? With our spiritual vacuum cleaner, with your spiritual Roomba. I say Roomba, whatever. And let's do this, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a minute.
What about you, Weber?
The gospel at home it's very important because through prayer and personal example, you can change things. Our home is not just our physical shelter, the way we treat, right? It's also our spiritual sanctuary. And the way you'll be able to develop that is through the gospel at home, through prayers, to the energy that you surrounding yourself, so that will bring harmony to the place, to yourself, and will also bring you protection. Because once we start doing that, the spirits that live in your house, because that's the other thing, we think we're the only ones living there. Not really. Before us, there were spirits there already. So they're not connected with us from ties from the law of cause and effect. They will eventually live. Or better yet, you help them to realize what they're doing, and they will be assisted by other spirits, right? And the other thing, just to finalize, I think, with the gospel at home, is to be a personal example of doing that, doing the right things even when there's nobody looking. Try to always better yourself. That's the silent teacher. Because words instruct, but example, they convince. Others will learn from us. Our children will learn from our examples. And I'll leave you with that.
That's really great. That's really great. I think it's a wonderful wrap up we did here, getting to get the example of gospel home prayer all together. And I thank you very much, Bernadette and Weber, for being here in this discussion. It was so lively and very insightful for all of us. And
thank you for the opportunity and the invitation.
Thank you very much. And I'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Weber. Bye, Julie.
You guys take care.
Thank you.